I remember reading one day in Scripture, in my devotional time, I turned the Bible to Psalm 33. And in Psalm 33 it says, "A king is not saved by the vast size of his army. A war horse is a vain hope for deliverance. But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear him, on those whose hope is in his unfailing love." When I read that passage, I really just had the sense that God was saying, "Drew, will you trust me to put your hope in me, in my unfailing love, to do the impossible, so that you won't take any of the credit, but that it'll be a movement that starts by simply a faith step of trusting in what God can do and will do." And so right after that, I wrote in my journal, I think God's calling us to plant a church in New York.
Big thing has been being part of a church plant and seeing what God can do through a new beginning, through something small, and seeing that blossom.
Well, we came here and we're from Maryland. We don't really have too much family here, no friends really, and so this has become our family, and we hang out with a lot of people here. So they've actually become our friends at this point and our family.
I originally got connected just through the people that were here, just introducing themselves to me and just being so friendly. That was something that I noticed right off the bat, that everyone was so welcoming. I'd actually visited the church like 6 months prior when they were in their preview services, and I had met Drew at the time. And when I came back in December, he remembered me and he remembered my name and he recognized me in that, so that was pretty cool.
Since coming to Hope, it has really changed my focus. Having grown up in a church where everything was about church and revolved around all the believers, but being at Hope, because their focus is so much on reaching out to the unchurched, so it has really changed my perspective. And so while at Hope, I had the opportunity to lead a coworker of mine to Christ. And so that's something that I'm really grateful for.
I think it's just the warmth that you feel when you step in the doors, like on a Sunday morning. And I feel like Hope is really a church where I can invite any one of my friends, whether they're coworkers or friends who are visiting or people I meet on the street. Like anyone, I think I would feel really comfortable bringing them here to Hope. And I love that about this church, that it's just a place where people come, they feel comfortable, they feel welcomed, and they feel like they want to be part of this family or whatever that's going on, this community.
I think to come to a church and just to feel really loved and welcomed. We started a home group where we got to know a few people and kind of grew as a family. So it's nice to get plugged in and to realize there are people just like you, struggles with the same struggles, dealing with the same things. So it's nice to be in a community like that.
These things, like what I'm so grateful for is people have bought into the vision of being a church that simply doesn't gather on Sundays, but that's actually out in the community making a difference and wanting to make Jesus famous all over Astoria and beyond.
B-Boy practice is not a rehearsal or just a training session. It's been so much more than that. It's like because of the relationships and community that come out of it, there's been mentoring, counseling, even tutoring.
Living in Queens, I've seen like how many kids there are that are just looking for something to do, looking for a place to engage, and that's where the passion for Generation Hope comes from. I think also really believe in people who other people aren't believing in.
We've got a group of folks that are gathering weekly right now in a missional community on Roosevelt Island, and we're building a team to start out and start having services, and that'll be the second congregation that we launch.
I really love the way that Hope is growing. I feel like God has really just blessed this ministry.
It's a new beginning. It's new in the community. I'm just along for the ride, and the kingdom is getting bigger through hope.
We do feel like we're this little boat in the ocean that sometimes waves hits it and boom, like anything can happen. But the more we stick together and the more that we continue to stay unified and hopeful in this vision to plant churches all over New York City, I think we'll be okay. In fact, we'll be more than okay. We'll accomplish more than we could have ever dreamed of, and we'll look back on our time together the same way we look back on this past year. And I'm convinced we'll say, look at all that God has done by building a people who hope in His unfailing love.